to the Blissful Heart channel. My name is Desiree Lee, and I am here to give you your weekly Bliss Fix, a twin flame reading for the week of March 16th to March 22nd, 2018. Hi, welcome back to my channel to all of my subscribers, and for anyone that's new, I do both energy reads for the collective for your soul and spiritual growth, and twin flame readings for the collective. That being said, collective reads are definitely not for everybody. I find that it either resonates with you or it doesn't. It is, a lot to encompass everybody's journey in one reading, and I am working on a solution for that through my Patreon page. I will be showing up for my live new moon reading on my Facebook page if you want to check that out on Saturday the 17th. And I will also be doing the full moon reading on my Facebook for free. But starting next month, I will be doing it on my Patreon clients only, and that would be for $1 a month to get the free full and new moon readings. So let's talk about the energy that's coming through this week. We have so much going on. We have the new moon in Pisces giving us a sense of wholeness and completion on St. Patrick's Day. On March 20th, we have the spring equinox. On the 31st, we have the full moon. The following day, we have Easter Sunday. That's also April Fool's Day. So I feel like there's just a lot of big shifting taking place. And I posted something on my Facebook last night just talking about that. And the energy read goes a lot more in detail about it. I'm not going to waste time on the twin flame video to go into all the details about this big change that's taking place, but just generally speaking, we are coming into the light. This spring equinox is really going to help give us a big shift that we've all been looking for. So most of you that are subscribers know that I've been missing for a little while, and I just needed to take some time for myself. I've been getting sick, I've been stressed, and so I just took some time and nurtured myself, and I feel so much better. Yesterday was like the first morning I woke up going, okay, I feel better now. I feel ready to record and give and share. So I just needed to do a little bit of receiving. I always lecture you guys about being open to receive, and sometimes it means not giving for a little while so that you can replenish, and that is exactly what I did. So we have the new moon in Pisces, the spring equinox. We have this whole idea of really honoring and loving ourselves and practicing self-love and self-care. I really feel like what we've been going through is kind of a dark night of the soul experience. And we're coming out of the darkness, right? Winter is ending, spring is beginning. And so we've been confronted with a lot of our deep pains and fears in this life. And so this new moon is really going to be about bringing what we're trying to release to surface and asking or inviting in what we want in our life. So again, I go more into that in the energy read. I hope you all take some time to watch that. And also looking at, our expectations versus hope and having goals. And I really feel this is also incredibly pertinent to those of us on the twin flame journey where we put too much expectation when our twin's going to show up, when we're supposed to show up, like having these expectations. And so I know that we all struggle with like, well, I really thought that this was going to be the shift, and sometimes I feel that spirit is like deliberately will withhold from us when we say, hey, it's supposed to happen today, so when we have hope, it's the idea of like, I plan to be reunited by, April 21st and I release it to the divine and know and trust that the divine has the best plan for me, and I just ask to always be in alignment with the best plan for me, right? So it's like, put the wish out there, have the hope, have the goal, but then release it, right? Free yourself of it. I kind of think of it as like blowing dream bubbles that reach God's consciousness and they're heard. The angels hear it and it's provided, but we're not holding on to it, right? We allow it to float. So let's get started. We're going to be using the Fairy Forest Oracle cards today, as well as the Green Witch Tarot, and then of course the Psychic Tarot of the Heart and my numerology card. And I believe I will be using the Rumi deck. I always say I believe because by the end of the reading, sometimes Spirit's like, no, use this deck. So I'll leave that open. But let's take a look at the overall energy of the Twin Flame community for the week of March 16th to March 22nd, Spirit. What is the union energy of the collective Twin Flames? Are you kidding me? Card 13, effort. I'm laughing because this came through in the energy read. It actually came through in a private reading yesterday as well. And I always say this card shows up so much. And I shuffle the cards. And, one of the reasons why I pull cards live with you guys is so you can see that this is just all happening organically or as, God wills it. So effort is our union energy. I love the consistency, Spirit. And then for our fairy forest oracles, we're going to look at which fairy is encompassing the energy of the divine masculine for the week of March 16th to the 22nd. Card 14, initiate, curiosity, open, and warm. So we have 13, 14, and 14 can be a 5 as well. And then for the divine feminine for the week of March 16th to the 22nd, what fairy is speaking for the divine feminine? The Green Witch, card 7, fresh new spring. Yeah, we got that spring energy. Cool. So let's pull those cards up on the screen. We have 13, effort for the union energy, 14, initiate for the divine masculine, and 7, the Green Witch for the divine feminine. So on both ends, we're making some effort, and I'm going to talk more about the effort energy as it applies to each of us. So the divine masculine is showing up with this initiate, curiosity, open, warm. So the divine masculine is being asked to take risks, to be fearless, to be curious, to try new things, to not be worried if people judge them for the choices they make, to be bold and brave and open to life. So they're going to be exercising effort in overcoming their fear of judgment of others and, taking greater risks in their life so that they can receive change, right? Because with great risk comes great change. So I feel that the effort, primarily the divine masculine is looking to exercise for this week is courage and bravery. And then the divine feminine is the Green Witch, fresh new spring. And so the divine feminine is exercising effort in allowing herself or himself, allowing themselves to, be born again, basically, to be new, to release expectations. I actually saved the book open because I wanted to quote it. It says, "She is your reminder to begin to reconnect to the wild green world, to the fairy forests all about you, to go back to a place where you empty yourself of expectations and stories and knowledge and just admit that in some circumstances and at some times you are as a babe. Be innocent, So I was saying, we're releasing expectations and going into hope, right? I feel hope is such a youthful energy. It is so young and innocent and pure. Spring equinox on the 20th. So the divine feminine is, I feel the effort is really primarily in reflecting on how our expectations have hurt us thus far this year, I would say, or you can do the spans of your life if you would like. Looking to release and surrender. So I feel that primarily the effort is about reflecting on what we're letting go of and then really allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and allowing ourselves to be innocent and, vulnerable. So beautiful. It's interesting energy, I think. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and look at the karmic lessons of the divine masculine for this week, Spirit. March 16th to the 22nd. What are the karmic lessons for the divine masculine? We have 7, crown chakra. And the divine feminine, for her karmic lessons, or their karmic lessons, we have detach, card 11. For the spiritual growth for the divine masculine for this week, we have strengthening bonds, card 1. And the spiritual growth for the divine feminine is lead, card 4. For the action of the Divine Masculine, we have seek, card 9. And the Divine Feminine's action for the week, Spirit, is 3, take the lead. A lot of numbers kind of firing here, but yeah, we have like 111, we have a couple 7s, we have a bunch of 3s and 4s. Yeah. Okay, so the secondary cards I'm pulling from are the Green Witch Tarot, and I'm asking the angels of truth, love, and light to either echo or add on to the messages of the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. For the karmic lessons for the Divine Masculine, we have Crown Chakra and 7 of Athens, which is the 7 of Swords. And then the Divine Feminine's karmic is Detach and Knight of Chalices. That showed up in the energy read. For the spiritual growth, the Divine Masculine has 1, Strengthening Bonds, and King of Pentacles. So those are both Pentacles. And the Divine Feminine has Lead, the Emperor card, and Page of Athens, or the Page of Swords. The Divine Masculine's action is 9, Seek, and 2 of Wands. And the Divine Feminine's action is Take the Lead and 9 of Wands. A lot of fire. Okay. So I am going to take a moment to sit with these cards, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've had a moment to sit with the cards, and it's really interesting. I feel that there is definitely a lot of like spiritual energy, especially on the Divine Masculine side. I still feel like, I definitely feel that there is more feminine energy on the masculine spectrum and more masculine energy on the feminine spectrum. This has been happening, you know. So let's just go ahead and take a look here. For the karmic lessons, the Divine Masculine showing up with 7 Crown Chakra and 7 of Athens. That's the double 7s for the Divine Masculine. And then the Divine Feminine has 11 Detach and Knight of Chalices, which the Knight of Chalices would be a 12, right? So 11, 12. For the Divine Masculine, Crown Chakra is divine consciousness. So in terms of what the Divine Masculine has been learning, he or they are learning how to connect with God conscious energy, learning how to either pray or meditate or go to church or, just have time with themselves where they reflect. If they're not somebody that believes in God per se, they're definitely deepening in a connection with a higher consciousness, whether they intend to or not. I find a lot of Divine Masculines will refer to their intuition as gut feelings, even though it is actually higher conscious energy. And then the 7 of Athens is about getting ready to take on new goals and be brave and courageous and move forward. It's also this idea of like being the provider, but I feel the Divine Masculine is really learning how to, again, take on greater risks, right? To have confidence. So the Divine Masculine is learning how to be more confident in themselves. The funny thing, this card is so distracting to me, because you see this woman in the doorway, like with her arms crossed, and he's coming home with a bunch of rabbits, and then there's a skunk crossing his path. So, the card itself definitely represents this idea of somebody awaiting their arrival and then them being able to come home or back to where they're supposed to be with abundance and with confidence of like, I know you've been waiting for me, and look, I caught all these rabbits, and this skunk crossed my path and did not spray all his skunkiness on me. I just feel the Divine Masculine is learning, and I'm hearing from Spirit that they are also like gathering, right? They're preparing, and they're preparing to take a risk. So maybe it's research, or maybe it's learning different things and the risks they want to take, but they're getting ready for that initiate energy, this overall energy for the week. And then the Divine Feminine is showing up with the Justice card, detach, and Knight of Chalices. So the Divine Feminine is learning to let go of everything, detach themselves from relationships, from expectations, from all desires, all wants, all hurts. Like, to me, this card just says forgiveness and hope, okay? So I see this card as really reflecting that green witch energy of, it's actually like the energy that would come prior to us becoming that green witch, of like having this letting go, a stepping away from the cold, right? You know, I love this imagery, especially for this week, because we're moving into the spring equinox and the figure is leaving the winter behind, right? And moving into the light with the dove of hope. So the Divine Feminine is learning to let go. So if you're incredibly stubborn, you know, this is, you know, a bigger challenge for you in terms of practicing vulnerability and surrender. Now, the interesting thing I found with the Knight of Chalices, because this is a karmic lesson, it's the reverse meaning of the card. And the reverse meaning is, you know, being manipulated or deceived by somebody or something in our lives. And so what I'm hearing from Spirit is that this card is showing up as all of our failed hopes, all of our failed expectations that haven't manifested. And I'm hearing, you know, resentment and frustration. And so, like, basically, the flip energy is saying, like, maybe you've been deceived, or maybe you've deceived yourself, is like what Spirit wants me to say. You know, maybe you have set yourself up for failure with your expectations. And so it just goes back to, you've got to let that go. So Spirit's telling me that yes, the Knight of Chalices is showing up in the karmic lessons in terms of anybody that's like confused about what their karmic lessons is and what they're letting go of. You know, look at anything that has instigated any sort of fear or frustration or anger in you, because there has been some aspect of you, some projection that you placed upon the situation or the person that had it disrupt as such. Yeah. And so then when we look at the spiritual growth, the Divine Masculine has 1, strengthening bonds, which is the Ace of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles. So a lot of earth energy, root chakra energy, money, career, family, stability, you know, security, okay? And then the spiritual growth for the Divine Feminine is 4 lead, that's masculine, Emperor energy, and Page of Athens, which is the Page of Swords, like fresh insights, creating something new, you know, creating a clean slate, so to speak. So again, I always mention this, you know, I see these showing up as a timeline progression for the week. So the karmic lessons, the Divine Masculines deepening their connection with God and deepening their confidence in themselves. And it manifests in their growth as having a strengthening of bonds. And what I'm hearing is a strengthening of bonds with themselves and with God consciousness. And having that sense of completion. Like the King of Pentacles is like the absolute sense of security, of accomplishment. So I'm hearing more strongly that it's not necessarily directed towards the goal that they've been striving towards or the risk that they're taking, but they have the confidence to believe that the risk that they take will succeed. So Spirit wants me to mention that this could potentially manifest as strengthening bonds with their divine counterpart and envisioning the success of that union. I feel that it is more specific to people who have shunned their Divine Masculine away, who have shut their Divine Masculine down, and their Divine Masculine is feeling like this renewed confidence that you won't turn them away the next time they hit you up. Again, that's a minor category of twin flames. I feel that the majority of Divine Masculines, this is more about confidence in taking the risk. confidence and certainty in themselves, feeling grounded, feeling able, feeling confident, and having a deeper knowing of who they are, what they want, and how it feels to be connected to something outside of themselves. So, I mean, again, I'm so elated that the Divine Masculine is really deepening their connection with spirit. I've said this before, when the Divine Masculine is finally opening themselves up to higher conscious energy, the higher conscious energy is going to have an easier time helping them accelerate on this journey and hopefully eventually moving into full physical union to serve the mission work. Again, I feel that there is a small percentile of twins that just are not destined to come into full union at this time. But I do feel that the majority of twins, I want to say 75% of twins are looking for full physical union right now. So then the Divine Feminine has this Emperor lead energy and the Page of Athens. So from the detachment and this like revealing of deception, and I really feel like the Divine Feminine's karmic lessons are like accountability, and also in some cases getting rid of hurtful people in our lives. And then coming through, like the lesson that they learn is like, I am going to take the lead of my life. I am no longer allowing myself to be a victim to myself, to my own expectations, or to anybody else. Like the only reason why your life got the way it was, like I'm just, as an example, perhaps you were in this framework of like, my life is shit because of my twin, because of my job, because of my parents, because of my friends, like you. And then I feel like the karmic lesson is if I'm going, oh, wait a minute. I am not a victim. I am taking the lead. I am owning my shit and I am showing up. And I have the Page of Athens. I have fresh new ideas. It's a little young, but it is definitely brave and courageous. Setting out this, I feel like through this imagery in particular, we have the owl with the full moon and the sword that's lit by the moon's light. Like I just feel it's such a powerful imagery of wisdom, of feminine energy, of this kind of the power of the Spirit's telling me the power of going into the dark night of the soul, how that has strengthened you, how that has empowered you, what you have learned about yourself and where you want to go in your life. Like I feel so much clarity and certainty in the Divine Feminine and yes, like warrior energy. So this is very much like what we would in fables or myths or lore, like what we would categorize as like the knight in shining armor type of energy. Like I feel that this is what the Divine Feminine is showing up with for themselves, right? And so then we look at the action of the Divine Masculine, and they have 9 Seek, which is the Hermit card, and 2 of Wands. And then the Divine Feminine has 3 Take the Lead, which is a 3 of Wands, and a 9 of Wands. So the Divine Feminine is all on fire because the Wands are the fire element. So for the Divine Masculine's actions, again, we're seeing this reconnection with God. I love this because, we have crown chakra in the karmic lessons, and then in the action, we have Seek, which is essentially, like generally speaking, the same concept of connecting with the divine. So they're learning it and then they're doing it, right? And so I do feel this really strong sense of practice of like faith and destiny, because the risk, right? It's like, because taking the risk that they are looking to take, and yes, it could mean like reaching out to their divine counterpart. It could be a job. It could be your relocation. It could be so many different things, but they're doing something that they have never done before. They're changing the way that they have acted previously in their life for themselves. This is like a newborn experience for the Divine Masculine, really, because they're taking a risk. They're taking a chance. And I really see them as like a little like a colt, just wobbly legs, like trying the best they can. They have the confidence, but they don't have a whole ton of skills. So they're just doing the best that they can with this new powerful energy that is in their space, okay? And the Two of Wands is like magical starts, like creative energy, of success, of growth, of balance. I feel like it's very joyous. Again, it's a 2, which, you know, the 2s are definitely a union number, okay? But in terms of the length of the minor arcana set of the wands, you know, it goes all the way up to a king. So this is still like a fresh energy for the divine masculine. I'd say it actually goes to a 10. But okay, this is a fresh energy, but it is a successful energy. And so I see the divine masculine using their newfound faith and their confidence to make that initiation, to be curious, to take risks, to show up. They do it with effort and they do it with faith. And the divine feminine is echoing this fire energy, you know, this emperor energy with take the lead and the 9 of wands. So the divine feminine is like, okay, I've learned these things and now, and so yeah, what I'm hearing is that this is very much what we're looking to do for the new moon and the spring equinox. But it is about like creating a path. And I do recommend writing it down and this is more discussed deeply in the energy read again. But you know, get organized with where you want your life to go. And again, you know, try to stay free of expectations. And so one of the things Spirit wants me to mention right now is like, if you're creating a life where you cannot move forward unless your twin is with you, that is not the best choice, okay? Because it creates a space of expectation. You want to create a path for yourself. And yes, you can fantasize and include the idea of your twin being with you on that journey. However, don't make it a catalyst for like, well, I'll do this when I'm in union. Like, that's something that Spirit wants me to really get through. And the 9 of Wands is like, you got all the tools, you know, you're ready to go. You have the creative potential to manifest exactly what you desire. This transition, especially with the double full moons in the month, I feel is incredibly important, and Spirit is really wanting me to shout loudly with a megaphone that you want to be clear on what you are looking to manifest in this lifetime. Yes, okay, but I mean, at the very least this year, okay? Very least this year, because again, as you know, this energy cycles, and we're getting ready for a new cycle, and you want to bring as much positivity and clarity and hope and dreams and goals with you as you get ready to power through. And I do see that as this fiery, confident, creative energy. I mean, you know, the fire element is solar plexus chakra, but with the tarot, I do feel a lot of the sacral chakra too, like that feminine creative energy with masculine willpower and confidence. Okay, Spirit, what would be our final outcome card that you would like me to use? Oh, okay. Well, I was going to pull from the Rumi, but they want me to pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Angels of True Love and Light, what is the final outcome message you would like me to share with the collective today? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Message in a bottle, card 15. There's our 15, because you know those first 3 cards we had 13, 14. We had 7, 13, 14, and then there's our 15. I'm also pulling from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light and asking which angel we should call upon as we move through the energy this week, Spirit. What angel will best serve us this week? Ooh, jumping out and landing upside down. Lord Ganesh, Infinite Abundance. I'll pull those up on the screen. So I'll talk about Lord Ganesh first because I am familiar with him. Lord Ganesh is the elephant-headed deity of the Hindu faith, and it says infinite abundance, which is absolutely what he does. And it says obstacles are being removed, spiritual support and connections are increasing. He's also, primarily he's known as the remover of obstacles. And one of my favorite imageries or visualizations of Ganesha is seeing this magnificent elephant sweeping his way through a forest with his trunk and clearing anything that could possibly prevent us from moving forward. And yes, when the blocks are removed and when the obstacles are cleared, what do we have, or what do we make room for? Abundance. We make room for things to come in. And so Spirit's just telling me, clear what you don't need. I seriously, again, I don't get any money from you watching both videos. I just really like you guys to watch the energy read because I talk a lot about that. And it's in terms of your own growth. If you're serious about growing and expanding as a soul, why would you want to miss an opportunity to get some specific messages on how to do that? And that's what happens in the energy reads. So let's see what message in a bottle is talking about. I've had this card so many times. Okay, so card 15 or a 6, communication, a sign, a Cledon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. Spirit sends you the signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you are pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. So with this deck, there's several messages. There's the overall general message. There's a relationship, a prosperity, and a protection message. And I just was curious what it was saying about the relationship message. Since this is a twin flame reading, I'm going to share that one. It says you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. I just love this. Okay, the signs, right? We're being open to signs. If you are in doubt, be especially open to signs. I had the animal totem of a hummingbird this morning, and so I researched it, and I did not know that their wings, their wing pattern is an infinity sign. So they represent this idea of eternity and the nectar of life, because they're always fluttering about seeking nectar. So, in yoga, we talk about when we're connected to God and when we're in the heart space of ourselves in union with the divine, we are tasting the sweetest nectar of life. And it is eternal and infinite. So I just wanted to share that with you. I feel really, really, really excited about this week, if you can't tell. I've already been feeling the energetic shift since yesterday. I hope all of you are feeling it by the time you receive this. And if not, trust that it is on its way. Make sure to do the work that's referred to a little bit in this reading and a lot in the energy read. And I will see you for the live new moon reading on my Facebook page. I love you all so much. Many, many blessings. Mwah.